I'm Sam.
And I'm Greg.
We're human beings. And we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast. How are you doing today, Sam?
I am well, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
That is wonderful.
So today, we are going to be reviewing a movie that is 10 years old today. It's called The Impossible. And if you haven't seen it, starting off right now, go and watch it.
Yeah. The first portion of this is going to be spoiler free, but we're just going to be really quick.
Yeah.
It's all based off of a true story and everything. And a lot of it, well, I guess maybe the story of it might not be common knowledge. The event might be common knowledge, but the story might not be. So we'll just give a quick review.
Yeah, I can just like a quick summary of it and then our ratings. And then we'll go into spoiler territory.
Yeah, I guess
that's kind of a thing that everybody knows.
Let's do that.
So this movie, 10 years ago today, is about I'm pretty sure it's the deadliest tsunami. It happened in Southeast Asia, and it's about a family that was affected by it. Stars Naomi Watts, Ewan McGregor, Tom Holland, and two other random kids I have no idea.
I think one of them is Tom Holland's brother.
So there's actually both of his brothers are in it, but they're in like one scene where they all have little name tags. And
I thought one of them was his brother, but maybe that wasn't it. Okay.
That's what me and Lindsay thought, and then we looked it up. And
Gotcha. What'd you think about this movie?
I love this movie. It's super fantastic, super true to the story, and definitely gut-wrenching.
What's your score out of 10?
9.5. Okay.
This was my first time seeing this movie.
Yes.
I had also never heard of this movie, basically, until I watched it.
It was a limited release.
Was it?
And then it was just in Spain. And then...
Oh, yeah, because it's a Spanish, it's not in Spanish, but it was made by Spaniards.
It was made by a Spanish company.
People.
Yeah. A Spanish family that got affected by it. So
it
was limited release in there, and then they released it in the U.S., but like I think it was the first few months, it was just in Spain. And then it did really well. Sense. And so then it released everywhere else.
Yeah. So I'd never seen it. And I really, 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 really liked it.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's a good movie.
It's gory.
Yep. Pretty gory.
It's pretty gory, but not in like a...
It's not a war gore.
Yeah, it's not slasher. It's not it's not war gore. It's like just it feels very real. Yes, it's very real gore. Yes. It's gore for the purpose of the story and not for the purpose of being gory.
Yes,
right. I would for sure give this movie like a 9.5 or a 9.6. Like it was really, really, really good. So I definitely recommend the movie. That's pretty much all we're gonna say about this.
Yeah.
Again, everything in this movie basically is either true or based on a true story.
Yeah.
So if you already know the story of this family that went through this, or, if you're not too worried about spoilers, then listen on.
I would, just if you don't know the story, because there are certain things that happen in the movie that if you don't know the story, it creates more tension.
Yes.
You're not sure if somebody might be alive or if they might be dead or just anything like that.
Yeah.
So for the sake of, even if we lose a listen and you don't know the story, go into it with no knowledge. Don't even watch a trailer. Just go and watch it. It's 100% worth it.
Don't Google it. Yeah.
We already told you. It's a tsunami, and it's about a family that after the tsunami, what happens.
Yep.
So,
and
you don't know who's alive or anything like that.
Wow. Yeah. So, go ahead and go watch the movie if you want to, and come back at around like the 9... Well, no, it'll probably be like the 5-minute mark.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll figure that out later.
Who knows?
This is your spoiler warning. If you don't want to know anything about The Impossible, get out of here. Okay.
So.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes. Please.
Have you seen those like memes or whatever where it's like explain a film plot badly?
Oh, no, I haven't.
You've never seen those? Okay, so like for example, what is the Star Wars one? It's like a Green Goblin teaches an orphan how to use magic.
Okay.
And he kisses his sister or something, and that's the whole thing.
Okay.
So the badly explained film plot for this one that I came up with is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Peter Parker go for a swim in Thailand's largest saltwater pool. I came up with that one.
That's amazing.
Dude. Okay, so this movie, Holy Moses.
Holy Moses, that's the word.
It was so good.
It was so good.
And I hated it. Like I loved it, but I don't know if I ever want to watch this movie again.
So,
but not in like a, I don't know, just like in a, I don't even know how to explain it.
No, it's crazy. So me and my wife has seen this. My wife's actually seen this movie, I think, more times than I have. We watched it together the first time, and we were like, oh man, that's a really good movie. And then I've seen it a few more times. She's seen it probably a dozen times. And that was before having kids.
Oh.
And now we watched it again.
Way different.
Oh my gosh. Like it hit hard before, but it hit even worse now. And literally the movie ended and my wife's like, I don't think I could watch that movie again. Not because it's bad, because it's so real. I mean, of course it's so real because it's literally based off of a true story.
But also they just do it to the point where it feels so real.
I know.
I guess because we're in spoiler territory, I'm just going to give a quick synopsis about the movie. Basically, a family goes on vacation to Thailand. They're in Thailand, right?
They're in Thailand.
Yeah, so they go on vacation to Thailand. A tsunami comes. The tsunami killed like 230,000 people.
Yeah.
So this tsunami comes kind of out of the blue. There's a mother, a father, and 3 kids.
Yep.
And it basically washes this family away. The mother and son... one of the sons are basically together. The oldest son, they're together kind of the whole time, and then the father's with the 2 kids the whole time. And I don't know how much of that is accurate as far as like how soon they like found each other or whatever.
It's legitimately, basically word for word. Correct.
So where the father was just like with those 2 sons, and just like was able to hold on to him. Basically,
he tells the story in the movie that the one was like on a tree. And then I don't remember the other, that's exactly how he found them.
Interesting.
Like so they took the mom and she interviewed with them. She spent like 5 hours with Naomi Watts just talking to her about the experience. So she handpicked Naomi Watts for the lead role. Yeah.
Oh wow. I didn't
because
know that.
she really liked her.
Yeah.
And I only bring that up because a lot of the bad reviews from this movie. Not that it was like 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is low because of how good it is. But a lot of people were bashing it because they whitewashed the family.
Oh, yeah.
But the mom handpicked Naomi Watts. And I think even Ewan McGregor and I don't think like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
But they picked those people because they could display the emotion and the craziness of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, the family's split in 2 for the whole movie. The mother and oldest son are together, and then the father's with the other 2 youngest sons. And basically the whole, like half of the movie, you don't know if one portion of the family's alive. And then, towards the end, that everybody's alive, but you don't know if the mom's going to make it. Yep. And it's just like, I don't even know where to begin. I guess that's why I took some notes. Yeah. But like, for example, I think Ewan McGregor's acting was the worst of everybody's.
Really?
And he was incredible. That's what I have to say. Like, he was amazing, and I think he was the weakest. Not that he was bad at all.
Okay.
But I think everyone else was that good that he could give a freaking 9.9 out of 10 performance and still be the worst.
I could see that.
You know what I mean? And it was only some scenes, because there was one scene where, and I wrote this down, where he's crying, he's like sobbing, and
on the phone.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's where me and my wife lost it.
So good. Oh my goodness. So like, yeah, again, his performance was amazing.
Yeah.
And I only say it's the weakest to show how good everybody else's was.
Yeah. Dude, this was Tom Holland's debut film.
Was it really?
It really was. He did so good.
You know what's interesting about that? This doesn't really have much to do with the movie, but he's such a baby in it, right? Like, he's pre-puberty and everything. This was 4 years before he became Spider-Man.
I know.
4 years.
I know.
Which is like, how did he like... I mean, I guess 4 years is 4 years, right?
How did he go from the impossible to being Spider-Man?
It's just crazy. And another thing that I noticed is, and obviously it's a different movie, it's a different type of movie than like a Marvel movie or whatever, but his acting is so much different than what he is as Spider-Man, which is probably, due to growth, just as an actor, as a person. It's probably due to the genre of movie, etc. But like, he just felt like such a different person and like a different actor in this movie. But I mean, he was also like 13 or 14 when
I don't know the
it.
exact age.
Because I think he's a couple months younger than I am, and they probably filmed this movie in 2010, so he would have been probably 14.
2013 because it's 10 years old.
Well, they probably filmed it in 2011. Right, they probably filmed it in 2011.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so he was a little baby.
Yeah,
but he was great too. Especially for a debut in a role like that, because
he was almost kind of a lead role.
For sure.
Especially when the mom was really sick, a lot of it was on him. So
I would say he is the lead of the movie.
I really would.
It focused more on him than on anybody else.
Yeah, and so he had. If you didn't have a good lead role, especially him, it wouldn't have sold it as well. He did fantastic.
And it's interesting that they chose to pick a rookie basically for a lead in a film like this.
I mean, you kind of think about it. Who knew Tom Holland? Even like when I watched The Impossible, I didn't even realize it was Tom Holland until me and my wife were talking about it like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's Tom Holland. I totally forgot.
The same thing happened with my brother. I was like, yeah, apparently like Tom Holland's in it. Because my brother had seen it and he was like, oh yeah, it is baby Tom Holland. But like, it's just not the same. You think of that for
Spider-Man. Nobody knew who Tom Holland was, and they're like,
"Oh yeah,
who's this
no idea."
Little teenager that's coming to play Spider-Man."
But probably a bunch of people had seen him.
Yeah,
or a good amount of people.
Yeah. So a couple quick things that I wanted to say. I did a lot of research after we watched it, just to kind of see. I really like when something's based on a true story to see like how true it is, And so I already kind of said a little bit of things. The mom was basically one of the writers. They interviewed her. They interviewed the whole family. But a couple quick points. The places that they're standing on in the pool are exactly where it hit in real life.
Really?
Yeah. And her up against the glass. All of that was like word for word where they had been standing, that they remember. Like they put all the detail into it, and it made it worth it.
That's amazing.
It's so cool. Because usually it'll be like this super amazing, compelling true story, and then they'll just like throw these random stuff in there, and it takes away from it rather than making it better.
Yeah.
And this was one where it was like, this is a true story. We're taking literally the family, interviewing them, and the family only allowed, the director actually like wanted to make sure they were okay with it.
Yeah.
And so they kind of showed him a little bit about it. And she was like, I will allow you to direct it. Like she didn't want anybody else to, because he was going to do it basically word for word, of what happened.
It feels like one of those movies like where they only put what's necessary in it and they put everything that's necessary into it. Like everything felt so intentional.
Oh yeah.
It didn't seem like they had anything that would have been over the top, or cheesy, or like it just all felt so real.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was so good. There's a few things I want to say, but they kind of have to do with our scoring.
Okay, yeah. Let's get into our scoring.
Should we jump into it? Okay, let's see.
So, visuals.
Yeah, visuals. Okay, what would you give it for visuals?
A 190.
190?
Yeah. Just for how insanely good they did the tsunami scene. I honestly don't even know how they made that.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
It looks so real.
It looks
her spinning all in the water real. And just like it destroying everything. Even like the trees falling, nothing felt like it was CGI.
It didn't feel, I didn't feel
like they
any
took like
CGI.
real footage, and they didn't.
I was looking for CGI and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking the same thing.
There was one scene that I could find, and it's when she's spinning the second time.
Oh, way later in the movie where they kind of do the flashback.
When they put her to sleep and she's like thinking about it. I think there was one time where I could kind of see like her spinning and the frames were lower. So so I think it was a little bit of like CGI, but it was so minuscule. I mean, it didn't distract for me at all.
Yeah. I'm going to give this a 196.
Okay.
Because I was thinking the same thing. Like all of when the tsunami hits, basically, you have very close-up shots. You have really pulled back shots where you see kind of the grand scale of the tsunami.
Yeah.
all of it looked flawless.
So flawless.
They did really good work on like the prosthetics for all of the injuries.
Yeah.
You know, the broken legs, the legs missing, the leg flap.
Leg flap. Oh my
it was
gosh.
so perfectly gory, but not in like, again, like I said at the beginning, just not in an unnecessary way.
No.
But it just looked perfect, and there was no distraction whatsoever with the CGI or the visuals. And again, I don't know. I'd love to look into how they did the CGI and stuff.
I don't know.
Because
it's flawless.
It's flawless.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen basically a disaster on that scale in a movie.
No.
That's that good. Even movies that are 10 years newer than this with a higher budget.
Oh yeah.
Don't look as good. You can tell it's CGI water, like it's all this stuff, and it looked amazing.
Nice.
So
it was a 200-foot wave.
That's so big.
200.
It is so big.
They talked about it, and they literally thought it was just a black wall. They didn't even realize it was water until it was getting a little bit closer, because I mean it was just mud and crap, right?
Yeah.
But it literally, they just said it seemed like a black wall coming towards them, and they were like, "What the heck is happening?"
The earthquake that caused it was like a 9.3.
Oh my gosh,
which is insane.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I think it hit 3 different countries too. That's how big it was. It hit Thailand. I want to say it hit a part of India and like another country, but I don't know my geography very well, so I don't remember. But and just like, dude, 230,000 people. That's
insane.
That's an insane amount of people.
It's an insane amount of people. And they really, this I guess we can kind of get into the writing, but just they portray that dread just in such little ways.
Yeah.
So let's get in the writing and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Let's talk about like the writing and the story. What would you give it?
So, story's incredible. It's real. I love the writing. I honestly, 195. I don't, there's really nothing that took away from it. I mean, even, I don't know, like it might even get like a 200, but.
Yeah, I'm going to give it like I'm going to give it a super, this is going to be such a high scoring movie because I loved it so much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give it like a 198.
Yeah.
I just, again, back to it just felt real.
Yeah.
All of the dialogue, the story beats, the way the story flowed, it just like, it felt real. I think the 2 points off is a very minor thing for me.
Okay.
That's just like, halfway through the movie, you find out that Ewan McGregor is alive and the other 2 sons are alive. Mm-hmm. And I think there's just like a weird part of me that wanted to not know that until the end of the movie. But then so much wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's not on them. That's kind of on me. But it was just like, I don't know. It was so good.
Yeah.
Honestly, this movie's so good that a lot of this is leaving me speechless.
I know.
Like, it's that good.
Oh, it was so good. Oh, so what I was talking about before, the dread of, because this is a happy story because they all live, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a happy story, right?
Right.
So when Tom Holland is in the hospital and he's looking for just, I don't remember why he leaves his mom. I don't know if it's, she tells him to go and help out, right? Yeah. Which I love that. Like, she's literally such a great mom because she knows she's getting that feeling that she might not live. So she's wanting him to go and do something and be productive. But anyways, when he's going to try and help out and he starts writing all the names down and like going to everybody, I mean, he probably wrote like 20 names down and he finds one. Yeah. But it's such a special moment that he connects those two. But at the same time, it's just like poking at you that there's all of these people he didn't find, right?
That's interesting because they this whole movie overall is sad, right? They focus in on one family that all survive, which is in itself a happy thing, but everything else is so sad.
It's so sad.
And they do that in different things throughout the movie, like in almost subsections. You know, that part of the story is sad, but there's one little happy thing. Yeah. Which is, I didn't really realize until you were saying that, but that's a really cool, like,
it's such a cool
thing that they do. Yeah.
Even when they all get reunited and Ewan McGregor opens up the paper from the buddy that had went to all the different hospitals with him, and it says, "We are at the beach." it just hit so hard.
So hard.
And it's just like, I'm assuming, I mean, when I looked it up, it was mainly just about the family, but he probably never found any of his family, and a lot of the people that Tom Holland was trying to help look for probably never found any of the family. It's just, it's
so good.
It was so good.
So good.
And the other reason why I would say the writing is almost perfect is, and I said this in the Avatar one, I don't know why, but for some reason, I think if you do a story really well, you remember the characters and their names. I can tell you everybody's name. Even the little kid, Daniel,
there's no reason for you to know his name.
I might even give it a 200 just for him, because he is literally in the movie for probably 5 minutes. And it just tears at you when he finds his dad, and Tom Holland sees that, right? Yeah. And it was just this little, like, they're in the tree, and he starts just lightly rubbing Naomi Watts' head and then just like tickling her arm. I don't even know. It was just insane, like how endearing he was for being in the movie for like 5 minutes.
And having like no lines.
No lines. He didn't say a
like
word.
2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, for everybody who's listening to this but hasn't seen the movie, really quick, when Tom Holland's character and the mom, so son and mom, they get swept away, they end up finding a little kid, and basically Tom Holland's character doesn't want to go help the kid. He's trying to get his mom to safety, and she said, no, we have to help this kid. They go find the kid, they basically get him to safety, and
then they lose him.
And they lose him in the hospital.
Yeah.
And then Tom Holland ends up running around trying to find all these people, because people are trying to find their families in this hospital and stuff. And he ends up seeing this little kid reunited with his dad.
Yeah.
So if like he hadn't gone and helped this kid,
yeah,
the dad would have never found his son. The son never would have found the dad. It's just this whole
and that's
beautiful.
True. That's a whole true story too.
Yeah. The whole thing's just so beautiful and so like well done. It's really awesome.
Ugh,
so
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about acting already.
Yeah.
A lot, but like what would you give it?
I don't want to just like, it's just such a perfect movie.
I know. Well, you can give it perfect scores.
I can.
I know it feels like you shouldn't.
I know. For some reason, I feel like I can't just be
we're
like
not movie,
200,
we're not movie critics.
200, you know?
Movie lovers.
But for some reason, it's I don't know.
I'm going to give it a 95.
It's our 4th episode, and we already have a 1,000 out of 1,000, you know? But honestly, I think like you said a little bit with Ewan McGregor, I don't know, he never really distracted me though. I mean,
no.
So even 200, I
cool.
guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna accept
it feels
that.
weird to say it for some reason.
I know. Yeah, I feel similarly. I'm gonna give it like a 194.
Okay.
Which is, still really high. It was almost flawless.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some people were flawless. I don't think Tom Holland was flawless, but it's very, very good. I think the mom was flawless.
Oh,
I think everything she did was 100% flawless.
Naomi Watts was insane.
Ewan McGregor was very close to flawless. Tom Holland was very close to flawless. And then everybody else was really, really good.
Yeah. Even the 2 little kids.
Even the little kid.
When they're running and screaming his name over and over and over again. Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
I don't know. They found the like perfect little kids for some crazy reason. But this movie, seriously, watch it. It's very good.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. The score.
Yes.
What's interesting about the score is the only note I took was the lack thereof. In a good way.
Okay. Yes, there wasn't a ton, but I would say when it needed it, it was very good.
Yeah.
Like it was a beautiful emotional score.
Yeah. So I'm going to put, it's hard because, I'm going to put not just the score, but I don't know what to call it. It is like, in a lot of movies, the lack of music often intensifies things if it's done correctly. And that's basically
silence.
What I wrote down is from the very beginning of the movie, and I think it's because I kind of knew it was about destruction, so maybe that was part of it. But from the very beginning of the movie, I felt the intensity with everything.
Oh my gosh.
Plane landing, turbulence.
Yeah.
Because I guess I never knew when the tsunami was going to hit.
No. And it's quick.
And it's like just when it's silent, it just felt so scary.
Yeah.
when nothing scary was happening.
Yeah.
Which was so interesting.
The silence almost like helped with the unknown feeling. Like you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I would put the sound effects for all the crashing, it's tree branches that do all of that crap to her.
Yeah.
That's how it shows how devastating this tsunami is. That a little tree branch can just destroy her leg and her chest and like scar her up like crazy, right?
Yeah.
So what would you give it?
Gosh. High.
Yeah.
Really high.
Yeah.
It just like, and I do remember when the music played, it was good.
Yeah.
And I think there was music when she was under the water for some of the time.
Yes.
And I remember that being very, very
and
good.
And her like when she's having her hand come out and it has that like crazy anxiety, like she's like jumping out of the water to get out of her sleep to survive basically.
Yeah.
That was also really good. So that was the thing I was actually going to bring up. So there's this movie. You could look up the poster. It's called Drag Me to Hell. And she's like reaching her hand up like this. And for some reason, her like coming out of the water, that stupid poster took away from it because I was thinking about that. And it's like this super like anxiety, like crazy moment of her like, I'm coming out of the water. I'm surviving. And
that's a bummer.
Dumb horror movie poster.
That's too bad.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to give the score a 190.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to
Really?
do. A 190, yeah.
It was just, I think
when it needed to be good, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And they knew when to not have music.
Yeah.
To lessen the terror.
Which I think a lot of movies struggle with.
Yes.
Like, even if it's not supposed to be a tense movie, sometimes they just put music in just to put music in.
And it ruins it.
And it kind of ruins it, yeah. Okay, last category.
Vibe.
Oh. What are you giving it?
I'd give it a 200.
Me too.
Yeah. Seriously.
This movie, again, I loved it and I hated it. But I hated it because I was clenched up the entire movie.
Yep.
The entire movie, I was like, who's dead? Who's alive? Is she going to die? Is he going to die? Who's going to die? Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And I just, the whole thing was just gut-wrenching.
It was horrible.
It hurt so bad to watch.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what it should have been.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They, for disaster movies, all that other kind of stuff, they did it the best.
Yeah.
I've never felt so much more. I mean, literally after it ended, like, we were like, do we ever go to the ocean again? You know, like,
I know.
That's how good it was.
Yeah.
It literally, like, oh my gosh.
Part of me thought never to get on a plane again. And nothing even happened with the plane, but I was like,
there was just turbulence.
Maybe I don't need to go on vacation ever again. Like maybe landlocked in Utah is exactly where I need to be.
Never go on vacation ever again.
But they nailed it.
They nailed it.
They freaking nailed it.
It was a fantastic movie. Please watch it if you haven't. Like Sam said, there is some hard moments to watch. Mm-hmm. You know, like when Naomi Watts gets out of the water and you kind of see her for the first time. It's not an easy thing to look at.
No, it is not.
But it's meant to be that way so that you understand the terror and the destruction of a tsunami. And they're pretty brief moments, and there's not a ton of them, but the realism of it, and oh my gosh, when the Thai, is it just Thai people?
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's pulling her through the mud.
Goodness, I hate that.
Horrible.
I hate that.
Her screaming in this movie was insane.
So after, I mean, basically the mom gets her body torn to shreds a little bit in the tsunami. And then afterwards, some locals come to help her.
Yeah.
And they just basically have to drag her away.
Yeah.
And her leg, the back of her leg is basically ripped open like a lot.
A big chunk.
Like a big chunk. And she's got her chest kind of ripped open a little bit. And they're just pulling her away. And you feel how much that hurts.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so horrible. Bad to watch, but they have to like drag her. I guess they probably could have tried to carry her, but they didn't.
I think it was just the one. I guess there was two
of them.
Oh,
it was just the one.
But I think it was just the one because the other one might have still been helping out.
Yeah, maybe just the one guy.
But the mom talks about that. She remembers him dragging her, and she was like, I just knew that he wasn't going to let me die. Like, he is.
Yeah, because when I was watching it, I was like, is he like, he almost looked like he didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think he was really determined to get her to safety.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to watch.
And that's kind of the cool thing that they do too. They didn't put like any subtitles of like what they were saying.
Yeah.
Because you kind of really didn't know. But no, he was like, you're going to survive. You're going to live. I'm getting you to safety. You know, you're not going to die. We're going to take care of you. All that other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That disconnect was really cool.
It was cool.
It was really cool.
Really added to just the feel of the whole whole story. Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, what do you think you gave this movie?
Oh my gosh.
You only gave it 2 scores, by the way. Like 2 numbers.
Oh. It was probably just 195 and 200, wasn't it?
No.
No?
No, it was 190 and 200.
Oh, 190 and 200. 980 then.
I mean, that's a pretty good guess. That's it, 980.
980. Yeah.
What did I give it? I probably gave it...
I think yours is even higher.
Is it higher? No, because we didn't give anything in the 180s, I don't think.
No, I think 190 was the lowest. I think that was mine.
Then mine's probably like a 980... I'm going to say 986.
Yeah, that might be it.
978?
Wait, what?
Excuse me?
Hold on.
It's because I gave it lower on the story because you gave it a 200 and I gave it a 198. And then you gave it a 200 on the acting and I gave it a 194 on the acting.
Oh, that's right. It was a 194.
But dude, still so high.
Phenomenal movie. So good.
Oh, so good.
So I have a couple notes.
Okay,
Unless you had something that
no,
you wanted to say.
I mean, I have some other stuff to say, but
okay.
Yeah, give me your notes.
Okay, so first off, you're not going to quite understand this because you haven't seen Die Hard yet, but
yippee-ki-yay.
To end all of the stupid, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, would you ever consider this a Christmas movie?
No.
Okay, well, do you know what? They got there on Christmas Eve. And that's the same thing of Die Hard. There's one thing that happens on Christmas, and all of a sudden it's a Christmas movie.
Wait, isn't there a Christmas tree in Die Hard? And a Christmas song playing in the background?
Yeah.
That's way more Christmas than this movie.
That doesn't matter. It's still stupid.
It's about the vibe, Craig.
No, it's not. Die Hard has no vibe of Christmas. Unless we're talking about Violent Night and freaking David Harbour just murdering people as Santa Claus.
Yeah,
anyways,
okay.
I saw Christmas Eve and I was like, I'm bringing this up because this is really stupid. Okay, 2 other things that I had, if I can find them. Oh, so the couple things that I wanted to point out, when the old lady is talking to I think it's just one of the younger sons. I don't think it's... Or is it Lucas? I can't remember actually now. She's talking and they're looking up at the stars.
Yeah.
And it's one of the little kids.
Yeah.
I think it's both the little kids. And they're talking about how you can't tell if a star is alive or dead. And at that point, you don't know who is going to survive or who's not going to survive. And she was like, it's like a beautiful mystery, not knowing if the stars are alive or dead. And that was such a cool way to like portray to, I think it was the 2 little kids, it's okay. It's still beautiful. You still have an amazing life and all this other stuff. That was such a cool little like segment that they put in there. That was like, she was talking about what stars were dead and which were alive, but you couldn't tell. They still just look like stars in the night sky, but you didn't know if they had died or not because they still shined, right?
Yeah.
It was just
true. That's cool.
It was really cool.
Okay, one thing I wanted to bring up. So the mom, when she's in the hospital, a couple different times she asks her son, "What color is my leg?"
Yeah.
He says, "Why?" And she says, "If it's red, it's good. If it turns black, that's when I have to worry." Basically,
Means it's infected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you never see her leg.
No.
And so she's like, "What color's my leg?" He looks. He says, "It's red." Then another time he looks. He says, "It's red." And then when they finally reunite with the dad and the other 2 sons, he says, "Oh no, I forgot to tell mom something." And I thought he was lying to her to help her feel better.
Right. Because he kind of, when he pulls it up, he kind of like looks at it differently.
Yeah.
So you kind of think he is lying.
So I thought because they take her back to do surgery, and I thought she was going to come back without a leg.
Yeah.
So I thought he was just basically saying that to give her hope.
Yeah.
Which ended up not being true.
No.
But I liked that I didn't know.
Yeah. It was really cool.
And then the thing that he ends up needing to tell her is that he saw this young boy with his father, the one that they saved.
Yeah, Daniel.
Oh, dude, I almost lost it.
So good.
It was so good. It's just like, oh man.
So that was one of the scenes I wanted to bring up too. The last words that they exchange with each other are the words that the mom, Maria, and her son, Lucas, in real life exchanged when... So there's a moment in the movie where it's the mom and Lucas, and they're trying to reach each other, and they kind of almost join hands on that little, I don't even know what it was, like a mattress or
the door.
Was it a door?
Yeah, they're on a door. Well, are you talking about when she's in the hospital?
No. It's right when the tsunami happens. There's a...
Oh, yeah, they're on a mattress.
Yep. Yeah, it was a mattress. Yeah, because there's a part with the door, and then there was a mattress.
Yeah.
That moment in real life, they just kind of stared at each other in silence for a little bit. And then, I don't remember if it was the mom or Lucas that starts talking, but they say that I'm happy that you're with me. Yeah. And that's what they say at the very end of the movie when he tells her about the story with Daniel, and she says, "I'm happy that you're with me." That was a little thing that she had said to Lucas, but it was during the tsunami. Rather than that point, it was really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved this movie.
This movie was so good.
It's very, very much worth a watch.
Yes.
And I probably will end up watching it again someday. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really dreading it. Yeah. Because it really does, like, watching this movie probably hurt me more than any other movie I've ever watched. Yeah. Like, just watching people go through that, even though they were technically just acting, but, it's all real.
It's all real.
One thing I did want to point out was that, and maybe this is, I don't know, I gave it a very high score. There's one thing that bugged me at literally the very end. When I watch a movie based on a true story, I always want them to fade to black and then say some stuff.
Yeah, they did have one like text.
Yeah, I love that. In
me too.
Movies based off a true story, and they did one. Was it just the picture?
It's just a picture, and it just said because it's not they're named the Bennetts in the movie, but it's like it's a little bit different in real life. It's not the Bennetts.
Is it Spanish?
Yeah, it's Spanish.
It's like. It might be Binchon or like...
It's something like that.
It's something similar to that.
And it just said that family, and then it was the picture of them.
Which, on one hand, is nice because it's so simple. But on the other hand, like, I would have loved to see, like, they all survived. They're doing well. They do this and this and this. Because, obviously I ended up Googling it. And now they basically are... I don't know what to call it. Like philanthropists or like they...
She's a public speaker.
Yeah, she's a public speaker. They obviously help people out and they are advocates for survivors of natural disasters and everything. I would have liked to see some of that in some pictures and whatnot, but...
Did you read the part where every year on December 26th, they all stand by the ocean?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's not like all them together. It's just at some point on December 26th, they all stand at the ocean.
Wow.
Just it could be different oceans, but just like they just all stand there to grieve the people that lost, their lives and everything, and just to like remind themselves we survived.
That's insane.
It's so cool.
That's really, really so awesome. Cool. This happened in 2004, right?
Yes.
The tsunami.
Yeah.
I just can't even imagine.
I can't either. I think the worst part for me wasn't even, and this kind of goes more into like the dread, wasn't even the leg flap. When she has to like pull I don't even know, like a wire.
Oh my goodness. It's just gunk.
It's
probably some hair and some just. Oh. Yeah, basically the mom ends up kind of coughing up, throwing up just mud.
Well, the person next to him starts to throw up.
Yeah.
And then she does too.
Yeah, she's like coughing up, throwing up mud and just stuff because obviously she's been, just tossed around under the water for so long.
Yeah.
And she ends up having to basically like, when you swallow a spaghetti and you can pull it back out. It was that, but it was like just stuff.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting.
It was horrible.
And it was perfect.
It was perfect. They did that so well in every moment where it was like, I wasn't like, I was like, oh, that's gross. But it wasn't like distracting from the story. It was, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this, you know? She obviously swallowed a bunch of crap, because there's no way that she couldn't.
Yeah.
And,
if you just like are in the mood to just feel something and like be able to maybe have empathy for just somebody, watch this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It will make you feel so many things. You will cry.
Yep.
You will not laugh.
Nope.
So it's not a comedy.
No.
But it's just like the whole, literally from the start, I just was I don't know, I was like shaking. I was just like tense and just all that. It was It was insane.
Good. Yeah.
One of my favorite watches in a really long time, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I was really excited that this was actually something that I wanted to bring up. Me and Sam pooled our movies together. Because, we kind of want to do like anniversaries, whether it's 5-year, 10-year, or just like a year or two, just like, and we realized that like no movies released in January.
Like none.
Out of our 135 movies, 4 came out in January. Yep. And when I saw this one, I was so excited because you hadn't seen it. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was a little worried that you weren't going to like it, but I had no idea how you couldn't like it because it was so good.
You have to like this movie, and you don't like it in the same way you like other movies.
No.
It's not.
Did you ever see Joker?
No,
okay.
Not yet.
That's kind of the same thing. I did not enjoy watching that movie, but it was so good.
Yeah, isn't this not such a weird experience?
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's a good experience to have, but it's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is like not a movie that's gonna like necessarily make my favorites list.
No.
But at the same time, it's one of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like it's so difficult to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just shout out to like everyone who worked on this movie.
Yep.
The actors, the writers, the visual effects artists, just everybody. The freaking crew who brought him sandwiches. Like
I know.
This was a masterpiece.
It really was. And it just really makes you aware, and I love that.
Yeah.
You always see tsunamis and stuff, but you don't really ever quite understand what happens in them.
Yeah.
You see videos, like the most recent hurricane that hit that was like all over TikTok. It was like, oh, those are fun videos to watch, just like
it's like, whoa, look at this destruction.
Not always fun because some of them were really sad, but it was like, oh man, that's like crazy seeing this.
Yeah, like look at that shark like swimming in the street or whatever.
You're so detached from it because you just don't quite understand how devastating nature can be. And so that was my favorite thing about this was they made this movie. They didn't make this movie to be like, oh, we're going to make a bunch of money off of it. They literally made this movie so that people could understand the pain, the suffering, and that little spark of hope, that, I mean, out of all the families, there's probably a few that actually all survived.
Oh, yeah. I bet they're one of the only ones.
Yeah, seriously.
Especially of that size, because there's 5 of them.
Yeah, there's 5 of them.
And it's so, like, especially for where they were, right? Because they were, like, on the beach.
Yeah, they were.
And so, especially for where they were, I mean, I can't imagine there was a family of that size that survived.
No.
Like, especially being somebody I've been landlocked basically my whole life. Like, the closest to the ocean I've ever lived was, like, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And they don't get storms.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I mean, sorry, not, tsunamis, obviously.
Yeah.
So, especially as somebody who's just, like, always basically been landlocked and never had to worry about a natural disaster more than, like, a earthquake.
Yeah.
Like, a small earthquake.
Yeah.
It helps put things into perspective, like, a lot with natural disasters and especially, in a place like Thailand where it's like they go to the hospital and it's not like an American hospital.
No.
It's a Thai hospital.
No.
And
I mean, you saw them. She was in like a closet for the first beginning.
Yeah, they put her on a door for a stretcher.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that was the thing I wanted to talk about. I loved the glimpse of her squeezing the doorknob for the pain.
Again, it was something that was so intentional and so perfect.
It was so cool.
They didn't have to put it in there, but the fact that they did made it that much better.
I know.
Yeah.
It was like it was meant to be there.
This movie was just,
this
is perfect.
Yeah.
It was so good.
And it was really cool. I love how they showcased all the Thai people and how amazing they were.
Yeah.
They were going out there. I mean, their homes have been destroyed too.
Yeah.
But they were going out there trying to find people, trying to get them to hospitals. There was no, we're going to take care of these people, but we're not going to take care of these people. And so they just showcased just how incredible the world can be when something like that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one last thing that I just remembered about this movie. So they take the mom to the hospital and she ends up laying next to this other woman. Yeah. And she ends up trying to talk to this woman like, hi, like, who are you? Yeah. You know, what's your name? And the woman won't say anything. She won't look at her. She won't
give her an orange.
Take the food from the son. Like, she almost seems rude, I guess, in a way, even though obviously she's just suffered the same fate basically as the mom. And at the end of the movie, she finally says, like, I'm sorry, like, I just wanted to save my strength because I wanted to see my family again. Yeah. It's just like, oh my gosh.
And like barely like handhold touch that they get when they pull her away.
Yeah, it's just like, that. It's so gut-wrenching because she has to like, she feels the need to not even say hi. Yeah. So she can save that much strength in case she can see her family again. So it's just like stuff like that, man.
And you don't know if she saw her family again.
No. Like, where's the sequel?
I know.
Like, honestly, it's
Where's
just like
the Impossible 2 where it's just, I want
it's just all the families
stories,
reuniting.
Okay? I want the happy stories after the horribleness.
Yeah. Right. But there is absolutely no reason not to watch this movie. Yeah. Even if you can't do gore, I think everybody needs to watch this movie. Yeah. Like, I think you'll get over it. Unless it's something that really, really will make you super sick, and even then grab a bucket. Yeah. Because I think people need to watch this movie.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for. Yeah. It was made to make people aware, you know?
For sure.
Which is why they originally had just released it in Spain. Originally, it wasn't like, we're going to release this and it's going to be this really cool movie that we're going to get a whole bunch of money off of. It was like, we want to get this out. We want to tell the story of what happened. And that's why it's so true to the story, because they didn't care about the blockbuster Hollywood disaster movie, you know? Yeah. It was, no, we're interviewing you guys. You know, Naomi Watts had talked about talking with the mom, and she didn't really want to ask her a lot of stuff, but she also needed to get her feel so that she could portray her well. And yeah, she said she talked for like 5 hours with her about everything, you know? And so that's what I really like. They made a movie to make it so that you understand, to tell this incredible story of this family that survived, and also to grieve for all the lives that were lost. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Which is why they bring those little points in there. They could have not had Tom Holland he could have looked for maybe the one person and then found them together and not brought up all the other people. Yeah. They could have not had the mom that didn't talk to her because she was saving her strength. They didn't have to do any of that. But they did it because they wanted to make you feel, my goodness, this is horrible. Yeah. You know? It was so good.
So good. So good. Oh, well, do you have any final thoughts besides that it was so good? Yeah, watch the movie.
It did do well at box office.
Oh, wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Yeah. You know then, huh?
Yeah, I did.
You know the answer?
I looked it up. I didn't actually specifically look it up, but I saw it when I was looking up other stuff.
315.
191.
I felt like 315 was a little high, but I was just hoping. Yeah. 191. That's still good.
That's really good.
That's like what The Lost City made.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Man, yeah, it was so good.
It was so good.
And again, this is not it doesn't feel like 2012, like the movie. Yeah. Or like any of those other destruction movies, because it's very not Hollywood.
No.
It's
this isn't a blockbuster.
No, it's not. This isn't a showy thing. It's almost a documentary, but not shot like one.
It's basically, right? Yeah. It's basically a documentary made to a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's that would appeal to the masses.
Right.
So that more people would see it.
Oh, it's incredible. I don't know what we're watching next week, but I don't know if it'll top this. This was so good.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing is this movie was so good in its own way.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we're going to watch a lot of movies like this. So I'm going to try not to compare it to other movies because
there's a couple other movies that'll show you that they're not really disaster movies, but they're like true story movies where, you know, somebody had to try and survive type of thing. Yeah. But this was a good one. This was a really good one.
A really good one.
Yeah, so our other 3 movies that came out in January we have to go through. I know also that you wanted to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. What are the other movies? Do you remember?
Cloverfield was one of them. And for those of you that have seen Cloverfield, because Sam hasn't, which is going to be so much fun, I will make him watch all the marketing on the movie, because the marketing for the movie is almost what made the movie so good.
Interesting.
It's very good. It's really, really cool.
That's the exact opposite of Star Wars The Last Jedi. Sorry, I had to mention Star Wars because the marketing for The Last Jedi was so good, and then that movie sucked so bad.
This marketing, it's really cool. I'm going to make you watch a bunch of things on it.
You guys, this podcast is just going to be Craig showing me movies I've never seen.
That's pretty much all it is. I think out of the 130 movies, you haven't seen like 80 of them.
I'm like so embarrassed because Craig and I created this podcast, and I was like, dude, I watch so many movies.
Yeah.
You name a movie, I've seen it. And he's like, you've seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I have not. Apparently, you guys have never watched a movie before.
Nope.
That's what I learned during this because Craig pulled out the list. He's like, let's go through the list. Have you seen this or have you not? And it was basically like, no. It was a horrible experience. So...
questioning your life now.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, like, have I only been watching the Bratz movies on repeat? Because, what have I been watching?
Transformers.
Transformers 1, 2, and 5 on repeat.
Gosh.
Craig's favorite movie is Transformers 5.
Yeah, Transformers 5. Yeah, you heard it here in the Something Awards. Transformers 5, #1 movie of all time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie was so good.
It was really good.
I know we have to end this episode at some point, but I almost don't want to stop talking about this movie.
It's really good.
It's really good. Please watch it. It's on HBO Max currently.
Yep.
As of, beginning of 2023 right now. Or Craig has the DVD. He can let you borrow it.
Yep.
So
just basically me and my wife have like these two massive CD holders. I would probably say we probably have like 500 movies on DVD.
That's insane.
Yeah.
My wife and I own 10 movies, and I think 2 of them are School of Rock.
Oh my! I think the same movie.
I think we actually. It might be School. I think it's a Jack Black movie. I think we accidentally
School
own.
Of Rock.
No. I think the movie we have 2 of is a Jack Black movie. I can't remember if it's School of Rock or if it's something else.
But it's just the same movie.
It's the same movie. I think she owned one and I owned one, and then we got married, and so now we have
movies together.
All of the movies belong to her, and then I ended up picking up like a 3-pack of maybe like Jim Carrey movies at DI for like $1. I don't know. We don't own movies. We're not in that era anymore of owning DVDs.
Ours were like all Black Friday too.
That's so funny.
Like I think the most we ever spent on like those 500 movies, it was probably like $20.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because it was all like Black Friday and just was like, oh, I like that movie. Let's buy it.
That's so funny.
We have so many random stuff.
So we're going to be watching a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
So Cloverfield, Hidden Figures, and the Book of Eli are the other 3 that are for January.
Okay. And we want to do everything everywhere all at once. So
I want to see that. I know there's quite a few people at work that really want me to see it.
Yes.
That are kind of, pressuring. So
it's good peer pressure.
It's really good peer pressure.
Yeah.
So I would say probably one of those 4 we'll watch.
Yeah.
If you want a sneak peek at what we're going to watch on our Discord, there is a little section that is sneak peeks at the next episode. And it's a little cryptic, pictures that can give you a, if you can figure it out. This week for The Impossible, I posted a Tsunami GIF and Mission Impossible. So Tsunami and Mission Impossible.
That's
Impossible,
genius.
Right? See? Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
So apparently I don't get on Discord enough.
Yeah, you don't. Come on.
Yeah, so the link for the Discord is going to be in the show notes.
Yep.
So go ahead and click on that and join us. We'll be chatting about movies. We'll be throwing in the scores and everything. That's basically where if you want to visually just like keep track of what we've watched, how we've scored things, it'll all be right there.
Our box office predictions are going.
Yeah, box office predictions.
To this day, this is, what's today?
January 4th.
January 4th. Avatar is at 1.5 billion.
I'm still closer.
You are still closer. We shall see what happens.
We shall see. So a few other things. One, if there's a movie that you'd like us to watch and review, you can email it to us or throw it in the Discord. Yeah. Our email is reactiontimepodcast@gmail.com. We're also now on TikTok and Instagram, and we're uploading regularly. So we're just going to be putting clips from our podcast with some footage from the movies. So on both of those, we're also just Reaction Time Podcast.
We've kind of talked about this. If anybody we thought about maybe doing YouTube and just like our podcast with like our logo.
Yeah.
I mean, if nobody really wants it, we might not. But if you're like, hey, I would love to have this on YouTube, let us know.
Yeah, I know of one person who wants it.
Okay.
So maybe it's worth it.
Maybe we'll do it, yeah.
Maybe. And then
Rate and review.
Yeah, please. No matter what platform you're on, give us a certain number of stars. If it's above 4, like that's great. If it's under 4, then like don't do it. So yeah,
if you want to give us below 4, think of the movie we're reviewing and then give that the amount of stars.
Yeah. Let's do that.
If you didn't like the Impossible podcast, but you love the movie, just leave a 5-star rating because you love the movie.
And if you hated the movie and loved us, give us 5 stars.
Yes.
How about that? So either way.
And change your brain because you should love this movie.
Change your brain with Craig and Sam.
Yeah.
That's the new name of the podcast.
That's the new name. Change your brain.
But yes, please, on Spotify, you can leave a star review.
Yep.
On Apple Podcasts, you can also leave a star review or a rating and also leave a written review. The written reviews really, really help for Apple to like push our podcast to more people and stuff. So doing that would help greatly.
Yeah. Follow us on TikTok.
Yeah, follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. Join the Discord.
We have a website now that will basically send you to all of those links if for some reason you're not sure how any of those things work. We're small right now, so we currently don't have an SSL. So basically that's just saying that we're cool and official. So it's reactiontimepodcast.com. But you will have to put www at the beginning of it. So
for now.
Yeah. We'll get cool. Don't worry.
So that's it. Please interact with us.
Yeah.
We've got all these places for you guys to interact with us, and we'd love to talk with any of you.
Yeah. And there's a cool community review on Discord. If we review a movie and you want to give your number out of 1,000, somebody's already done that. They gave the first Avatar 19 out of 1,000. So
that's...
They don't like James Cameron, so.
Well, it's Discord. You can say whatever you want, honestly. So I guess it's worth it. Yeah.
But, well, thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you for listening.
We'll be here every Friday.
So thank you for listening to Random Endings and cool tacos and ostriches.
Next.
No time. I might end... Not too shabby.
I need you all to know, those are always made up on the spot.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Never have we ever planned that in advance.
No.
We love you guys.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for your listens. Thank you for your reviews. We're going to catch you next Friday.
Yeah. For their next movie. Be safe out there and Happy New Year's.
Peace out.
Bye.